Well, folks, as you can see, I have done it again. And believe it or not, I went to the same scrapyard where I buy steel. I went today in order to get some steel for that winch that is sitting right over there. That will be mounted onto the gooseneck project that I'm working on. You might have seen a previous video about. And so anyway, I buy steel there, and just like before, I came across the weigh scales going into the place, because you have to weigh, you weigh your vehicle before when you first get there, and then that way whatever steel you load up, then when you come out you pay for it. And today's prices were 30 cents a pound. And just like before, when I got the other bike, I went across the weigh scales, and there sat this bike, and a couple of other things that I may or may not go back and get. And so I've been looking for another bike because I actually want a pair of mini bikes. So me and my little woman both have a bike that we can ride. We have a lot of blacktops and dirt roads around this area where we live. And this would be something that me and her could do together that, we both enjoy. And so, rather than having to buy a new bike, here we go. The other thing that's very interesting about this is it's the same bike. Now, it's probably a little bit newer version. There is a few things on this bike that is different than the other bike. But they are both Baja, and I believe from the info that I've got, if y'all know better, correct me please. The Baja 165, see, had steel fenders, and this bike has got steel fenders just like that one over there. So I've been calling that bike over there, once I figured it out, a Baja 165. So I'm going to have to say that this is a Baja 165. Now, there is a difference. This would be the Warrior. The Warrior was green. Okay, come with a black frame with green fenders, and it would have had a green fuel tank. And the reason you know that it's the 165 also is because the fuel tank and the fenders both are made out of steel, where the 200s were made out of plastic. So, I think this is a little bit newer version than that one over there. But they're both the old style, what they call the 165. The motor does spin over a little bit. But it's not going all the way around. And so I don't know what that is, but we're going to get it up on the lift. The other thing is, this would be a project I'd be doing in the future. Right now, I've got too many other things that are taking priority. I've got this winch I've got to get mounted for a guy, and you might know I'm building a back porch patio onto the back of my house and putting a roof on my house, and I've got other projects going on as well. So, what I'm thinking is, let's get it up on the lift and see if the motor's going to be viable or not. That's something I can do in a short period of time, where obviously totally restoring this bike is going to be a long project. Hopefully not as long as the project as that one over there. Now, I have learned a lot in doing that bike over there, and just knowing what it is that I've got, what parts are available, that type of stuff right there, you know, knowing the ins and outs of this bike mechanically, I should be able to do this bike way faster and cheaper than I did that bike over there. So I think we're going to go ahead and let's see if we can make this thing run. And then that's going to determine a lot of other things, you know, like if we have to have a new motor and all that type of stuff. And so I think it'll make for an interesting video. We'll see if we can get this thing running and rideable. And then in a couple of months or so, then we would go ahead and restore the bike. So anyway, you're looking at a future project, and here we go. Yeah, the air filter looks pretty good. Hard to believe. Well, it's a little dirty, but it doesn't look that bad. Okay, folks, I put a little bit of penetrating oil down the spark plug hole to see if I can get this motor to loosen up. There it went. All right, we got it to go all the way around. And that is good. Okay, folks, so a little secret of mine. Now, don't tell nobody. But if you take air and you blow it down the spark plug hole after you put your oil or your penetrating oil or whatever, WD-40, whatever you're putting in there, in order to get that oil to go all the way around and coat the entire cylinder wall, rather than, since you know the cylinder wall is leaning like at an angle, and so when you put the oil in there, basically you're just getting oil down into the bottom side of the cylinder. But if you blow air straight in there, what you'll do is you'll cause that oil to go all the way around the entire cylinder, and the air will force it around the rings and the piston as well. So it's just a little trick I use to get lube everywhere in the cylinder and on the piston. So normally I would, at this point, I would put a compression gauge on there, and so we could see how good the cylinder and the rings and everything was. You know, see how much compression we've got. But my gauge went out. I don't know what happened to it, but it's not working. So I don't really have that possibility right now. But one thing you can do is put your finger over the spark plug hole and see what it does. So we'll do that. Yeah, it's got a little bit, but I wouldn't say it's got a lot. So we'll get the spark plug here. We'll get this cleaned up, and let's see if we got spark. So we do have spark. It doesn't look like it's real good, but it does have spark. I don't know if you can see it or not. Well, I have no idea, folks. I have no idea what this motor's going to do. It probably is not going to do anything, but we'll shoot a little fuel down the carburetor, pull the rope, see what happens. You never know. You just really never know. Wow, that is amazing. You know, that would be something if we could ride this thing. And you know, another thing is, now that fuel tank is in bad shape. Let me tell you. Yeah, I got a little air lift here. Watch what comes out of that. Yeah, that fuel tank's in bad shape. I haven't pulled the bowl off the carburetor, so I don't know what it looks like, but if we can get that carburetor cleaned up a little bit and get some oil in it, we could take the fuel tank that came off the other mini bike when I bought that new Predator engine. I still have that brand new fuel tank, and maybe it'll bolt right up on there. Probably will. We could get a fuel tank on there, get everything here oiled up, and see if the throttle works. I know the brakes work, and we might could be riding this thing here in just a few minutes. Let's get that done. Oh, not good at all. Don't think that's gonna work. Yep, that's not good. So we've got the fuel tank from the other engine that we bought for the other bike. Okay. And you know what? It will fit. Matter of fact, it'll bolt right up. All right, that's a good thing. So we got our fuel tank, and now we're gonna get the carburetor cleaned up. I don't know what I can do with this, but I'm gonna try. And believe it or not, the float doesn't seem to be stuck. And if the fuel line is still any good, you know, if it's still usable for now, I'm gonna put this thing together. We'll see what happens. At least the needle came out. It wasn't stuck up in there. So let's get the carburetor blowed out, and we'll spray some carburetor cleaner through it and blow some air through there, blow through the fuel line, then put it back together, put the fuel tank on it, we'll put fuel in it, and let's see, I've got a little trick I use on these. Let's see if it'll work somewhat. I mean, I would still wind up buying a carburetor, but we might get it running. Okay, this is one of my little secret tricks, so you know, y'all don't tell nobody. Pull out the drain plug out of the bowl, and we'll see if we're getting any fuel to the bottom of the carburetor. So when I got this fuel on, we should get fuel coming out right there. And we do. Now we need to look at the oil. So you've just got to love these foot pegs. Well, you know, it's not running perfect for damn sure, but I think we ought to get it down off the lift and see what it'll do. Alright folks, that wasn't much of a ride, but that's all I got time for today. It's got too late. I appreciate y'all tuning in. We'll see y'all next time. Bye.